So, as of this morning, as I record this, there have been just under 95,000 people die from COVID 19 here in the US, with better than 330,000 in the world. We're up over 1,000,005 cases here in the US. And this is clearly the biggest event of my lifetime, right? I've lived during the AIDS pandemic. I've lived through the U.S. centric 9/11 attacks, the different wars we fought in Iraq. And this kind of blows them all out of the water, right? I mean, it's been like 2.5 months, and so many people have died, and the world, society, I guess I'll just look at it from my point of view. And I apologize for the noise. I'm recording while I'm driving. I've got a bit of a hectic day today, and I want to try to stay on schedule. So hopefully this noise all filters out somewhat. But so yeah, I mean, it's been 2.5 months. Society is turned on its head, right? Our private lives, our business lives, our social connections, everything's been disrupted. I can't even go sit at McDonald's and drink a freaking soda, right? I mean, that's how weird this is, right? You can't sit in a Starbucks, you can't sit at a McDonald's, kind of iconic American franchises that, like, that almost would seem like a right, it's darn near a social right that we have here in the U.S. to go and have a freaking double cheeseburger with a side of fries and sit down and eat it while kids play on the play structure, or sit and suck up free Wi-Fi at Starbucks, right? We can't do that. And I try to think about what this really means to me, and it means nothing to me, right? Like, I'm not moved by this at all. And it's been a while since I've complained about not having feelings about things, and I've been reminded of that a bit lately. This week in general, I've been thinking about it, and I don't know. It's yeah. I mean, I'll probably touch on that a little bit in a minute. But for now, it's It's Thursday, May 21st, 2020, and as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. So yeah, not feeling anything still. It's been a while since the other night I had a bit of anxiety over what I thought was a mild elevated fever, which really isn't. I mean, I was well within normal range and everything, but seemed high for me. So I spent a little bit of time thinking about that and worrying, fretting about that, and how that would affect my life and the life of everyone I would have to contact and say, hey, gosh, sorry guys, I have a fever. Sorry, I gave you a hug yesterday. Sorry, my girl's X and Y and whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is a huge event that's going on in everybody's lives, and this is not our as of yet, it's not our Spanish flu. It's not, our World War I, World War II kind of thing. It is, but it isn't, right? It's not comparable. And the numbers from the Spanish flu back in 1918, 1919, where like 50 million people are thought to have died from the flu. We're not, we're 100 years more advanced in medical procedures, medical, life-saving devices and care and things like that. And so, I mean, it would have to be something extraordinary to get to those kind of numbers, right? But that's not to take away from what's going on. I mean, it's very likely that we'll reach into the millions before this is all done. I just don't know. But yeah, I mean, I've got nothing for it. I've got no empathy for those who have struggled and are struggling. I've got no real phasing of my life about all this, and I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's not. I'm decent enough at compartmentalizing, right? And it's not like I walk outside and my leg breaks, I guess, right? It's not that in my face, even though I wear a face mask. It's weird. I guess I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, how do you guys feel? What's been your take on everything? I mean, I know, a lot of us who are dealing with mental illness, depression in general, don't necessarily like to be social, but that doesn't mean that we're not social, right? And I get that the restrictions that have been put in place are more taxing for many of you and most people, and it's not that taxing on me at all. And if anything, if anything, my life has been not improved isn't what I want to say, but because it clearly isn't, but it's been I don't know, it broadened, right? I mean, I get to see my girls more than I did 4 months ago, right? I mean, because they're not, they're in school, but it's distance learning. They're able to come to my house for 5 days instead of just 2 days when they come every other week. And, it's a weird way to think about it, right? Like a worldwide pandemic, and I'm seeing the people I want to see more. That's just strange to think about. So, I think I'm content, comfortable saying that I'm in the minority here, and I think you'd probably all agree. But I mean, how have you all been doing with it? I mean, what are you? I mean, are you doing like Skype calls, Zoom calls? Are you just like Nora and I have adopted the family across the street? Have you just said, screw it, this is gonna be our bubble, but we're gonna try to keep it tight, with the neighbor down the hall and us, and that's it. I'm curious to know how everybody's doing, and I know that there are folks who are robustly embracing all the physical distancing parameters and the following the rules, and even going overboard, in my opinion, with what they're doing. I've talked about coworkers of Dave who won't disinfect their shoes, or don't have an outer area, a mudroom maybe, where they leave their shoes and then wash their hands after they touch their shoes, which might have touched something on the ground outside. That's more power to them, but I think that's a little bit a little bit overkill, and that may be sussed out a little bit with I think the CDC here in America, the Center for Disease Control. I think it was the CDC, might be the World Health Organization, has said that transference of virus on surfaces may not be it's not a real thing, but it's very difficult for the virus to be transmitted that way. I haven't read the report. I don't know exactly how they're going about that, but it's stuff we're learning. So maybe it's preliminary. Everything's early, preliminary. Everything is early, like I said. But yeah, so I mean, there's case one recently where I don't have feelings. I've talked about my new friend who's really struggling, and she's a family friend. She's in our bubble, and we've got a connection. Her and I, and she was over last night and was really struggling and asked. It was like I had already gotten ready for bed, and which so what? But anyway, but asked like, hey, can you go get JP? I want to talk to him. And of course, she's like, I said to Nora afterwards, okay, so we've got 7 kids now. Someone that I look after this person like one of my own. But so I'm just there, and I'm like holding her hands, and like we got like her head on my shoulder, and she's just crying and crying and crying. I'm true to form. Like I felt nothing about it. I mean, I felt, go back to this intellectual JP versus emotional JP, and intellectually, like I'm like, okay, how can I help? What can I say? Hey, I know you can get through this. I know it's hard. I know it's, all the things that I know. It's irrational. It's depression telling you can't go through with it, that you can't carry on, that you're too weak, you're not strong enough, it's too big, all those things. And so I doing all these things and saying all these things, and we must have been sitting for like half an hour, and we got to a point where she had kind of cried it out, and I got to slide in a few jokes here and there, make her smile, which was nice. But like that whole time, I've nothing. I got nothing, and this is someone who is telling me, like, hey, I don't think I can be here anymore. I mean, this is like lowest point of things, and like I got nothing. And yeah, so whatever. I don't know. I got to get back in therapy, I guess, and really start tackling this. I don't know what kind of therapist I need to see, who I need to have on my team, right? Who can help me with these things. And sorry about the noise, folks. It's raining, and my little hybrid car is going up a hill, and it doesn't like hills, so it's really purring away. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how I'm going to get to it. I don't know if, like, it's not logical to say like I lack the ability to have feelings, right? I mean, I guess it's not illogical, right? I mean, sociopaths are things, right? But I don't know that my life history lends itself to those kind of things. So then if I'm left with, like, I close off, like I've got like an instant, blaster shield mechanism that, oh, hey, there's a feeling might be coming, shut it all down. I don't know, but then I wonder, like, is this my protection? Is this like, have I packed away my depression into that as well? And if I learn how to raise those blaster shields, is that all going to come flooding back? And am I better off for that? I don't know. Um, I just don't know. It's scary. It's scary, I guess. Um, yeah. So there's that. I mean, I'm still just a feelingless jackass who knows sometimes the right thing to say. um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I want to get Nora on here and talk, and it seems like the podcast is an avenue for us to talk about our feelings just a little bit more, right? Like, we'll talk daily, and I'll know, like, today was a good day at work, today was a bad day for work, today was, I don't know, I'm struggling with this, I'm feeling blah. Um, but I don't know that we delve into it as much, even though we talk every day, as we might when we're talking on the show. And yeah, I'm not judging that. That's good or bad or whatever. But yeah, so I'd like to get her on. I'd really like to get some of you on, and just chat, get a real person's perspective on what's going on, and yeah. So I mean, if you're interested, let me know. If there's someone you've heard before on the show who you'd like to hear more from, let me know. Yeah, I'd like to do that. Chris, if you're still out there listening, hey, message me back, dude. I'd like to know how you're doing. I don't know, kind of going off the rails here right now. There's an accident on the road up here, and lots of police cars and lights flashing and whatnot. So it's a little tense for a moment. Well, it's an army dude. Huh. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a wild, wild world right now, and yeah, I don't know how I'm navigating it. If I'm doing well, or if I'm not doing well. I think I am. I think I am. I'm getting fitter, right? I've really gone off the rails on the diet thing, and I'm not sure how to get back to it just yet. And it's even harder because my running still seems to be improving, and again, like 2 days ago, I had my fastest run in over a year. It seems like once a week I'm doing that, and like this week I plan to go 9 miles on my long run day, which is a mile more than last week. So it's not as present, I guess, that, hey, dummy, if you lost some weight, running would be better, because running is getting better. So I don't have that pressure on me, and frankly, I'm another reason I need to get back with a therapist is I'm clearly struggling with something, because I'm eating my feelings. I mean, I did really well yesterday during the day. Like I said before, when I'm at work, I don't eat that much. I eat enough to kind of stave off hunger pangs or whatever. But I got home, and I went to grab like a hot dog. Just I'll eat a raw hot dog, pre-cooked raw hot dog. It's like 180 calories and gives me some flavor. And I know it's not the healthiest choice, or even close to the healthiest choice, but I'll do it, right? I mean, that's me. And they're all gone, so I quickly turned to bread, and I ate just a bunch of bread. And then I went back and I ate some more, because why not? And yeah, so things like that are still happening. So clearly, mentally, emotionally, I'm not doing as well as I maybe could. But yeah, I'm not terrible. I'm not, I'm able to get out of bed. I think when I struggle to get out of bed, it's because I'm actually tired or would like more sleep, not necessarily because I want to hide from the world. So yeah, but we'll see. we'll see how this weekend goes, right? Like I've got a couple things going on, and so when my girls are here, like I don't feel I have the opportunity to hide from the world and take a nap, right? And when I'm working, partly full days, 3/4 days, there's not napping time. So we'll see when this weekend comes when I've got the opportunity to take a nap or cut the grass. Like, what am I going to do? And that's always been a barometer. Like, do I need to take this nap, or am I just want to run away? And a betting man would say that I'm going to try to run away, but we'll see. I'm not much of a wagerer. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So, what about the future? Because this is one of these things with mental illness and depression specifically. Like, we don't have an optimistic view of the future. And I don't know that I have an optimistic view of the next week, month, half a year. But I don't know if I have a overly pessimistic view, right? Like I don't feel like, oh crap, I gotta, next month is coming, or I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. I'm just kind of meh. We're status quo, and that's just what we got. I don't know. I don't know if I've shared this before, but like whenever there's when we lived up north in Minnesota or Michigan, when there was going to be a snowstorm, right? Like there was a little part of me that was always like pulling for the snowstorm. Like, yeah, like bury us. Like I wanted there to be strife. I wanted there to be struggle. I wanted there to be socially acceptable reason why I might be miserable for a while. And I've done this, and like I don't wish harm to anybody from it. I perfectly accept that there may be harm because of it, but and part of me, like when we had a hurricane scare last year, and it was part of me was like, yeah, let's really experience this. Let's really have the power go out for 5 days. Like what is wrong with me, right? Like what is that? And I think there's a part of me like, it sounds terrible to say, but like not rooting for the virus, right? Like again, give me that outwardly socially acceptable reason why I should be pessimistic about the world and life. And I wish there was a way, like, I guess in my head, like I don't know, I would like lots of people to get sick and get better, and lots of people like die, but not anybody knows. Does that make sense? Like I want the stats. Part of me wants the stats to be of such that like the physical distancing goes on longer and the world is shaken up more, and then and it's not like a haha screw you, now you know how I feel every day. It's not like that. It's more of a me, like I want, I don't know, an excuse to be a depressed person, if that makes sense. I've talked about how I don't know that I have a defining moment or something that triggered my downward spiral with depression. It's possible, the avoidant personality came first, and that, led to depressed thinking, which blah, 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 on and on. I don't know. But like, I guess I'm just still like, I have that unknown hole that can be filled temporarily by disaster. And I just feel like I sound like a terrible person, and maybe I do. Like I want statistics to exist from a calamity, but I don't want any like personal disaster for any single person. Right? Does that make sense? Like I don't know. Maybe that does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Maybe I'm weird. Who knows? Somebody knows. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I've yammered on long enough. I'd really like to hear from you all. I'd really like to know how everyone is doing. Those of you, if I have an outstanding email, look for that to be rectified today or tomorrow. Or maybe Saturday. Maybe Saturday. Saturday I'm taking my car in to get something looked at. I think they have Wi-Fi there, so I bring the laptop and get back to people on email. So maybe by Saturday. By Saturday for sure. If you don't hear back from me, I'm a jackass. And you have a right to email me and say, hey, jackass, what are you doing? I'm still here. Yeah, so, email me, jamalki@gmail.com, facebook.com/jamalki, at Jamalki on Twitter and Instagram. At the website, you can send me a message, www.jamalki.info. That's JAMOALKI. Or you can text me here in the U.S. I love getting text messages. My phone says, hey, someone's reaching out to you. 248-648-1419. Worldwide on WhatsApp. Yeah, I'm right. I'm worldwide. Yeah, you heard it. +1 248-648-1419. I haven't looked into. Does WhatsApp? Does it have voice possibilities? Can someone actually talk to me that way if they wanted? I don't know. Let's look into that. Yeah, send me a message on WhatsApp and see if we can hook up a call. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so everybody reach out. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you think about my yammering about myself, and like, am I a terrible person for the thoughts that I have, or whatever. Boy, that's a loaded way to phrase that, isn't it? Yeah, tell me I'm terrible, or don't. Okay. That's enough. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves, that their friends are doing well, their loved ones are taking care of themselves, that you're reaching out through whatever social media you can to stay safe but still connected. And that's it, everybody. Be safe and be well. Thanks.